The Dow Jones and the S&P 500, the stock market as a whole, is at all-time highs. And we know the old adage, you gotta buy low and sell high, which might lead you to ask, is now a good time to invest? And that question is a great question, but where does it come from? It's coming from a place of fear. You're scared that if you invest now, the market's gonna go way down and you're gonna lose money. Or it's also coming from a place of fear, a fear of missing out. You want to maximize your investments and you really do want to buy at the low point to ensure that it increases in value significantly and you maximize your investment dollars. But before we address each of those fears specifically, let me tell you a story. This is based on a true story, a real conversation I had with somebody just a few weeks ago. So this person sold a business, and when they sold that business, they got a really large sum of money. And for this specific situation, I'm just gonna say $100,000. They actually got a lot more than that, but let's just say $100,000 for this scenario. That $100,000 they wanted to put to work. They wanted to invest it because they're wise and they're smart and they know that that money needs to grow in value. The problem is they were scared. They were scared because the market at that time was at an all-time high. And they were scared that the market was going to tank and crash and that their value would go way down. Look, they worked really hard on this business. They worked really hard on the sale of that business, and as a result, that money they got from the sale was precious to them. Let's be real, $100,000 is a lot of money. So here's what happened. They didn't invest. They did nothing. They let the fear paralyze them from putting that money to work. If they would have put that money, $100,000 in the market and done nothing, they would have experienced one of the largest downturns in the market ever. And despite that, today, they would have $30,000 more than when they started. Right now, they still only have $100,000, but if they would have done this, they would be at $130,000. That's huge.
Too bad, too bad.
That's a lot for literally doing nothing. They didn't put any extra money in the account. All they had to do was get over some fear. So let's talk about those fears again. So first, let's address the fear of missing out on a great opportunity. Look, everybody wants to be the person who bought Apple stock when it was $2 a share and now has hundreds of those stock at a much higher price. And your fear about getting into the market now is that you're not taking advantage of that opportunity. If you invest now, markets are at all-time high, so you're buying high, which means you're not going to make the most of your investment, right? But here is the truth, and this might be a hard truth for you to hear. What you're really trying to do is not being an investor. You're trying to be a fortune teller. You want to know what's going to happen in the future. You want to predict the future, and you can't. It's like asking a financial advisor what's going to be on the scratcher ticket that you just bought at the gas station. So this fear of missing an amazing opportunity, of buying when things are really low, that's not a realistic fear to have. That fear of missing out on something increasing significantly because you bought low is the same as the fear of missing out on winning the lottery. Can people build wealth and get rich because they guessed right? Sure, people win the lottery, but that can't be your financial plan. That's not a sound investment strategy. But here's the good news. You guys, I don't know anybody who's built their wealth because they got in on Apple when it was $1 a share. Fortune telling isn't reality. What is real is time in the market. Being invested in real companies that are adding real value to our society. And when you do that, over a long period of time, it is statistically proven you're going to get a much better return than if you're trying to guess which company or which time is the lowest and hoping that your fortune telling is correct. What does this mean? Bottom line, the best investment strategy is not about trying to time the market. It's about having a lot of time in the market. It's not about timing, it's more about time in. So let's address this fear that the market will go down and you'll lose money. Can I be honest with you? The market will go down. That's the truth. Again, even in this story, had they invested the $100,000, they would have experienced one of the largest downturns in the market ever. So when you invest, you have to come to grips with that. But one of the reasons why you're asking this question, is now a good time to invest, is because you think, man, the market is really high. Surely it must go down. Just because a market is at an all-time high does not mean it must now come down. Stocks are priced to deliver a positive expected return for investors. So reaching record highs regularly is the outcome one would expect. The point is growth. That should encourage you to want to get involved and to want to invest, not discourage you. Which then leads us to the other fear of completely losing the money. Look, this could be completely legitimate. And here's what you need to know. If this money, let's say this story of these people who sold the business, they have that $100,000. If they needed that $100,000 the next week, it would not be a good idea for them to invest. But if you're like most people who are considering investing, you don't need this money tomorrow. You don't need access to it right away. You're saving for something in the future. And what you're saving for later on in life is you want that money to last for a specific period of time. So if you are like most people and those two things are true, the downturns in the market, yeah, they're going to happen. But over time, it's statistically proven that the return on your investment is going to be much greater than any downturn that you'll see. So wise investing and a wise financial advisor is not trying to time things. They're not trying to guess or be a fortune teller. Wise investing is trying to spend the right time in the market based on your financial goals. Yes, an investment advisor will sell or buy certain funds with your investment portfolio when things are going up or down, but a lot of that has less to do with exactly what the market is doing and a lot more to do with your specific goals. Look, it's okay to have fear. It keeps you in check and it makes sure that you're balancing exactly how your investment philosophy and investment actions should be lived out. But let's make sure we have the right fear. Fear of missing out on that one hot stock opportunity because you're buying it at the very low, that's gambling. That's not investing. And fear of losing your money because the market's going to go down, you don't have to fear that because we know that over time, there will be dips in the market, but as a whole, the market's going to go up. So is now, while the market is really high, a good time to invest? That depends on your situation. If you need the money next week, investing's not a good idea at all. It doesn't matter where the market is at, high or low. What you really need to ask yourself is, where are you with your finances? What are your goals? As we've talked about in the past, we believe that there are 3 stages to wealth building. And if you're in stage 1 and you're just trying to get control of your money, meaning you're spending less than how much money you're making, investing is probably not super important to you. You probably need to pay off some debt or find a way to increase your income. If you're in stage 2, where you are experiencing some margin, you do have control over your income or your expenses, it's important to you to get familiar with investing, because when you do get familiar with investing, you actually learn to not only endure the valleys, the lows of the market, but really enjoy some of the peaks. And as you've had time in the market and you're really starting to build wealth and you're in stage 3 working with a financial advisor, that's when they use some of those peaks and valleys to maximize things for your specific goals. For more information on this specific topic, you can check out the blog that Jake wrote at stewardship.pro/blog. And if you are interested in even more information about investing, not gambling, not fortune telling, but actual sound, wise investment advice as it pertains to time in the market and diversification, you can check out our playlist on YouTube about all the videos we have on investing. So, is now a good time to invest? Probably. Thanks for watching.